have a piece of hair. Hello, this is Bridget Rau with Divine Essentials. Oh my goodness, guys. So, I joined a group recently that's called, like, Bitch, I'm a Witch. I'm definitely not a witch. Like, I've dabbled with the idea over the years because people are like, oh, boop. But I will say this. Most of the intuitive people that I've ever connected with, they've never called me a witch. You know what I mean? Like, if I got a reading, they're like, oh, you're such a fairy. You're a starseed. You're a light worker. You're this, you're that. Like, the witch word wasn't really brought up that much, like, in my years of doing these types of things and all of that. When I was younger, my aunt Bridget was like, oh, when you're 13, we're going to go to the moon and you'll be initiated into a witch. I've never really gone into that road of, like, I'm a full-on witch, you know? Like, I do candles, I do rituals, I do, like, all these different things. So sometimes I resonate with things that are associated with witchy stuff, like the candle magic and things like that. But being in this group for, like, a total of maybe 72 hours has made me be like, what the fuck? Like, I'm definitely not a witch, and I don't understand witches. I don't understand. I'm sorry if you are one, or if I'm, like, you know, I don't know, like, again, I don't care what you do, but why do you do those things? Like, I want to ask them, like, do you care what happens to you when you do these things? I'll put a little screenshot up there so you can see one of the last things that I just saw tonight. That somebody's like, and they all are posting anonymously. Nobody wants to post who they fucking are. Because they know, that's the thing. They know in their soul what they're doing is fucked up and wrong. And they're already judging themselves. So they're like, I'm going to post anonymously, but I hate this person and I want to know how to destroy their life. Beep. And then all the people in the comments are just like, oh yeah, do this, do that, do this and that. You need help? Let me know. And I'm like, what the fuck? I don't even want to be a witch. I don't even want to see what you guys are saying because it's just making me even more like, why are people like that? Really, like, I don't try to be holier than thou. Like, I don't like people. I'll tell you straight. You know, earlier today I was recording a video and there was people in front of me and I was like, I fucking hate people. Like, I do not like people, but I do not actively fucking attack people. I do not actively pursue some spell that I can, like, I just don't get that. So, like, with connecting to spirit, I'm not going to guide you that way. And I really think anybody who's feeling guided that way or feeling like they should go down that route should reflect on why. Like, why do you feel like you need to be that way? And what do you think the repercussion is for that? Like, they must not be happy people. Like, I can't imagine anybody that's like, let me get a fucking jar and, like, destroy your life. And let me take everything that's good in your life because I don't like you. I mean, I don't know all the details, but I don't need to know all the details to know that no matter what someone has done to me, which has been some pretty bad things, pretty bad things, I can pretty much guarantee that there's been a lot, from friends, from family, from people who I thought would never do what they did through my whole life. Parents, everything. That's like, oh, deeply hurting, painful shit. But I was never like, let me get a jar and destroy their life. Most of the time that I was deeply hurt was from, like, them taking from me and me just being like, okay, that's fine. I don't need that either. Or that. Or all those other things that you're promised. And, you know, like, even just get down to care and empathy and respect and support and love, you know, like, there's been a lack of that. But I still don't want to attack anybody. I don't know what it is inside of me that's just so not okay with it. And I really think that if you're on a spiritual path, if you're new to all this stuff, because I know that's the thing, like, a lot of people get mixed up into stuff when they're brand new to stuff because they don't know any better and they just 4 just listen to anybody. They're like, oh no, there'll be no repercussion for that. How do you know that that bitch hasn't done 60 years of fucking misery to herself and she's gonna die and go to hell and knows it? And she don't care what happens to you because she's already destroyed so many people's lives. Do not trust anybody. Don't even trust me, man. Don't trust anybody other than yourself to decide what's right and what's not right. And think about, like, truly what's happened, you know? Like, even in case, like, I've been physically hurt, I've been sexually hurt, like, I've been through all of it, but I'm not like, well, let me do these fucked up things that aren't gonna solve the problem. It's just gonna perpetuate more problems. And you know what I've noticed? Well, being in this group, the people who are not anonymous, the ones that are, like, putting their faces in there and shit, they don't look like they're doing well. Physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, like, on all levels. And I'm not saying I'm healthy across the board or that I'm amazing, but I'm just saying you can see when somebody is full of darkness. 555. You can see it in them. So if you want to, like, look like the whole haggy waggy that is, like, barely making it and just wants to eat children because children are young and carefree and innocent, and they're probably pissed off that they're not going to get that back because of all the bad that they've done, do not let them guide you into that place of darkness. Because once you slip down that slope, you're in that slope. You're going to have to come back around again, you know, and keep doing it until you fix all what you did. And I know I keep hearing these messages recently about, because I can feel things too. Like, I know when certain things are going on, when, like, something's being directed at me, or if, like, this is just a coincidence. But, like, even, like, the concept of 3, like I mentioned yesterday, I've had 3 different things show up within a very short amount of time that it's just like, okay. And I know witches do their little power of 3 bullshit, and I just feel like I'm seeing, because the spirit shows me shit all the time. They show me shit all the time. I see all the numbers, 702. I see all of the fucking, the little memes that match up with the thinking. I see all, like, there's so much that I see moment to moment to moment to moment to moment that it's like, I can't even convey it to everybody. Like, the gravity of what I know based off of what I see, what I hear, what I feel, and what gets confirmed to me. And it's a slippery slope with that too, because you're the creator of your reality. So it's like, sometimes I don't even want to see that shit because I don't want to feed into that shit. I don't want to be like, oh, but, like, I'm not afraid. And because I know that I'm protected. And like, I saw someone today, they were like, oh, and make sure you do this to strip them of all their protection. You don't want to be doing that to people who are divinely fucking protected. Like, it's not going to work, first of all. You're going to be stripped of your protection. Like, you're going to have the repercussions. It may not happen today or tomorrow, and that person may have a little fucking hickey up, but when they come up from that hickey up, you're going down because you initiated it. And again, 2 wrongs don't make a right. Like, because people try to justify, oh, well, they did this and they did that, and they were mean to me. And most of the time, the people who are doing those things, it's like over a guy. Or it's over because, like, that person, you can tell in the way that they're talking about them. You know, the way that they're talking about, they're jealous, or they're fucking, like, pissed off that that person has more than them, so they want to take it from them. I will never understand that. If you're a good witch, good. You know, if anything, I feel like I'm on the good witch side because I don't do that shit. I will not do that shit, and I really urge you not to do that shit. No matter what happens, no matter who does what, like, somebody kills your kid, whatever, let the universe deal with it. It will work out. You may have to be patient. It may not feel fair, but you don't want to play the devil's advocate, man. Like, what the fuck? I just don't get it. I'm just so, like, I wasn't even gonna, like, tonight's video, I was gonna talk about, like, you know, just the initiation of figuring out, like, what your main gift is so that you can start exercising that, you know, the difference between claircognizance, clairvoyance, like, your different senses. It's like, I have a lot, like, my main one is clear knowing, but I also can feel, and I also see sometimes, and I also hear sometimes, but those other ones weren't there when I first started off. I didn't even know that I knew back in the day. I've always had clear knowing, but I wasn't aware that I had clear knowing, especially Because some people lie and people manipulate and they're like, oh no, you're crazy. Especially like I would be like a toxic guy that's cheating on you. Oh, I'm not cheating on you. Blah, 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 blah. And I know he is, but he's telling me he isn't. So I'm just dismissing myself as crazy. And all the other toxic motherfuckers that have been around in my life that have lied, including the world as a whole. Like everything we were told in school and shit, I'm like, that was a lie. That was a lie. That was another lie. Okay. But some of you may see. You know, like when you close your eyes, do you see or do you dream a lot? That was another thing. Like, I noticed over the more recent years, I'm a Taurus, I sleep a lot, right? But, like, I honestly believe I receive a lot when I'm asleep. I don't always remember my dreams, but when I do, they're fucking weird. And like, today I had one that picked up from like a year ago. I had a dream. And then this morning I came home from the store, I laid down for a little bit because I'd been up at 6 a.m. from the dog. And I went back into this place that I dreamt about like a year ago. And it was like so crazy. And like things that were there last time were there this time. And this time there was a puppy there. And I was like, oh. And I was beating myself up. Because in this dream world where I lived, there was a place above me at 1111. I knew of cats being up there. But like, it's not my place. The guy that lived up there died. There's a restaurant attached to it. There's people that can see into the apartment and all that, or the house. And I was like living and renting out the downstairs. I knew that there was cats up there a year ago. But last night, or this morning, when I went to sleep and I was back in there, there was a puppy. And I was like, oh, who's puppy? So I started looking around for the people who owned a puppy, like trying to figure out how the puppy got in here. And then I saw the cats. And I was like, I forgot about the cats, oh my god. Like, I was so distraught that I forgot about cats that don't even exist in a real world. Like, so, I don't know, like, but I feel like I receive a lot through my dreams and in through the astral realm where I'm not even conscious of it, you know? And like, I receive messages on a regular basis with my eyes, like my physical eyes, like seeing synchronicity. Like I just did a couple of readings tonight for people, which I have readings on sale right now. And it was like I would say something and the card would come out. And I would say something else and another card would come out. And then I'd be like, I feel like he wants to be the boop the boop. And they'd be like, oh yeah, he does want you to be pregnant. You know, just so many fucking crazy things. Like that's with my physical sight. But like when I close my eyes, I do get to see things now. Back in the beginning, I didn't. I had to exercise that and grow that and decalcify that. My third eye, you know, you don't want to be having fluoride in your toothpaste. Get some like charcoal, you know, or whatever that is not going to be that. I heard oil pulling is really good for you. You could try that. But the you know, I wouldn't be drinking the tap water with all the bullshits in there, because that will keep you from having, you know, your third eye open. You can do sun gazing, but again, don't just go out there staring at the sun. Go out there at like intervals when the sun is kind of low in the sky, like when it's sunset or sunrise, you know, do like 5 seconds and 10, like build it up to decalcify with the intention that you're decalcifying. Go outside at night and gaze at the fucking stars. Guarantee you your intuition will get bigger, stronger. Your other gifts will turn on. But you have to set aside that time and do those things. It doesn't even have to be like, I mean, when I first started off, I was out there all night. It was like a problem. People were like, what is wrong with her? But I couldn't help it. I was like, just receiving so much. And then that slowly just went down to like, I don't really go out there that much. I can tell when they're out there. I'm like, oh, hey. Like, I can tell when they're out there. But that wasn't how it was in the beginning. In the beginning, I would stand out there all night waiting. Now, it's like, they're like, oh, they're here. And I know. But you have to set aside time, and you have to stop being distracted by the 3D world, and also set clear intentions for yourself, and decide before you're connecting to spirit, like what type of spirits you want to connect with, because there is light and dark. And again, I'm not opposed to dark or demon. Like, I wouldn't be like, oh, let's call in a demon to do some demonic shit. But there's a difference between acknowledging that you have your own inner demons to fight and embrace and know are a part of you, just like you have your light. But I don't know, I feel like there's a very fine line there between things where it's like, that's not even, you shouldn't even I don't know, maybe it's a starseed thing, because I really just do not resonate with that. And the starseeds, we don't come from duality like we're existing in here. So I think it's really hard for us to comprehend like the wars and the just mass shootings and let me hex this person because they're prettier than me. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. And it's just messed up. But yeah, figure out which one of your main gifts. We'll talk about this more because this video became like something else. I do have like in the Alcyon Light Healing, if you go to my website, divineessential.com, to the contact page, there's manuals there. The Alcyon Light Healing Manual, a few pages in, has a little quiz to help you figure out which one of those gifts is your predominant gift. You know, because like if you're clairvoyant or you're clear knowing or you're clear like sentient or smelling, like some people smell. Some people, not that they smell themselves, but they can smell spirit, or they get sense. They're like, I can smell a cigar, but there's no cigar. That's probably like a grandpa spirit coming around. You know, pay attention to the sense. Some people hear stuff. Some people, again, just know stuff. But the way that you act in the physical world and like what you pick up on in the physical world can kind of help you to know, oh, that's how I am. Like when you watch a movie, do you know what a killer is before other people do? Are you like, okay, let's can see where this is going? Because that's clear knowing. But if you watch a movie and you're like wicked drawn to the colors and like the textures and oh my god, it's such a beautiful scene, you may be more like about seeing. And then like if you're like really touched by the music and like, oh, I can feel the music through my body, that's like a mixture of the clear feeling and the clear sound, you know. So pay attention to that. And again, with the clear sound, it's not always going to be an outside booming voice. It's usually your inner voice. But I have found out recently so many things about humans. Some of them don't have a voice. I'm like, because my voice is my voice. Like, it's not like I'm fucking insane and that there's just like randos talking to me all the time. But like, I know my own inner voice, and I know when like spirit speaks over that voice. And it's not like it's a constant thing. It's like sometimes they're like, you need to do this right now. You know, like, and it's not in a scary way. But again, I don't know. There's people out there who don't have that. So if you don't have an inner voice, I'm going to say you're probably not going to be clairaudient. But if you feel things, maybe that's where you're going to start. And I don't care if you have an inner voice or not. Like another thing I found out the other day, because like a lot of times I tell people to like make their eyes go like like unfocus their eyes, and I found out the other day that not everybody can do that. So I was like, oh fuck, like I've told people to do that, and they're probably like, what do you mean? Yeah, if you can't unfocus your eyes, then you can't use that as a technique. I use that as like, they weren't even talking about that in the video. They were just talking about how some people can and some people can't, and there's been studies into like why. And it's the same people who can do it to one eyebrow. So I can do one eyebrow, and I can also change the ocular thing in the back here so that like I can just defocus everything around me. And sometimes I do that, especially like if I'm gazing at something, like if I'm gazing into a flame or I'm gazing into a crystal, sometimes I'll do that to like enhance and help support what I'm doing. If you can't do that, it doesn't mean, like, I feel like you could do it though. Like, it just stare at something fucking long enough, your vision should probably start to get a whippity-woody. I don't know. Maybe not. I guess not. I don't know, because I was under the impression we could all do that. But I'm not always right? I have clear knowing, but, like, that's been a problem in my life, too, is where it's like, sometimes I assume that everybody knows what I know, and they don't. And sometimes I assume that everybody can do what I do, and they can't. And I don't even like saying that, because I feel like it's a reflection of their beliefs. I don't even think it's that they can't. It's just they believe that they can't. Or nobody has introduced to the fact that they can. And again, back to that point before, be very careful your initiations into things. Careful who you are like, oh, I want you to help guide me into working with spirit and stuff like that. Because I the more I see on this planet, the more I see people just openly, willy-nilly, like, being evil, the more I'm like, I don't trust anybody, because it's not right, the stuff people are doing. They don't care. They don't care. And I don't get it. And sometimes I'm like, is there something wrong with me that I care to the degree that I do? Or is there something wrong with me for not wanting to be those ways? Like, am I suppressing something? But I don't know. I don't know. Tell me what you think. Do you feel like that's okay to do? And maybe you don't know because maybe you haven't explored that. But in your core, in your heart, in your soul, do you feel like you should be the one deciding the fate of others? Or whipping out fucking karma blessings? Because karma exists all on its own. You don't need to be the initiator of it. You don't need to be getting vengeance. It's not even karma. It's just people being vengeful and continuing to break like the universal laws. It's like, what? It's fucking kindergarten laws. And you know what I love? There's a guy, Chase Hughes, okay? He is like a neurosurgeon person. He does the behavioral panel. Like he looks at, he's been a lot of things. He's done a lot of stuff. He knows a lot of things. And a lot of people like him because he's smart and he knows what the fuck he's talking about. And today he shared a short little video on his YouTube channel. And it was like, you know, the lessons you can learn from kindergarten. And I say that all the time. I'm like, this is fucking kindergarten. This is like, do unto others what you want to do for you, you know? Like, if you don't want people to be hexing you, don't be hexing them. If you don't want to be broke and miserable, don't wish being broke and miserable on others. If you don't want to be alone and sad and like, unhealthy, don't wish that on others. You know? I don't know. Like, and the ones that he was saying, like, all the same type of shit. Like, you know, take care of yourself, eat good food, get good sleep, bop, bop, boop. All the basics of fucking life that a lot of people can't, like, practice for some reason. And I just don't understand what went wrong. Like, this was instilled, I feel like it was instilled into us long before. Because if you look at a baby or a child, they're not like, oh, that's a black guy. Like, you'll see, like, a little white girl on a bus holding a black guy's hand. They don't know each other. You see little kids come together of all races, shapes, and sizes. They don't care if it's fat or small or weird or whatever. They're just, oh, hey, what's up? Want to play? Okay. Like, it's innately within us. And then somewhere along the line, something happens. And that innately within people goes out the door. And I feel like it's a mixture of pure pressure and, like, bad seeds. But the bad seeds have been getting, like, bad seeds are growing too much. We need to clear out the weeds and stop growing bad seeds. But yeah, hopefully this makes sense to you guys. And hopefully it doesn't insult anybody. And if you are hexing people, and you're going to hex me now, just know, that was the one other thing that I was starting to say and I forgot to say, is like all the messages that I've been receiving lately is like, this person tried to do something to you and they're fucking scared now because they realize it's not working. This person, and this has been going on for over a year, you know, like I've been seeing these types of messages for over a year. Sometimes they pick up and paste and sometimes they go down and paste, but it's always the same fucking thing. This person trying to do like a death spell on you and they can't believe you're still alive. Like, to the point where if I click on that reading, okay, and I listen to it, the shit that the bitch will say is like, okay, that's definitely for me. Like, down to like, you were driving your car today and you went past a cow. You know, like, shit that you can't just make up. Shit that you just don't pull out your ass. It's not just like a 20 little second thing that's like, oh, somebody tried to hurt you and they didn't succeed. Or these people are figuring out that, like, their little things are backfiring. Like, it's not just that. I wouldn't speak on it if it was just that. It's the confirmations that come along with those types of messages that let me know, oh, this is definitely for me. So, yeah, you know, keep trying. All power to you. But you can't strip me of my protection. You can't strip me of my light. And you can keep trying to dish out whatever the fuck you want. But it's going to help me to rise. Remember that, ladies and gentlemen. If you feel like someone's attacking you, say that. Be like, okay, anything they send my way is going to propel me forward. It's going to lift me up. It's going to make me more abundant. Keep sending the hate. Keep trying to take me down because it's just going to propel me forward. And your belief is the strongest thing you can do. And again, because those motherfuckers are in there being all anonymous, and the ones who aren't anonymous don't look like they're doing too well, I would recommend not going down that path. Be good. Okay, be good, do good. I'm gonna do a live where we do a cord cutting from all that negative bullshit so we can just be done with it. And that was another thing that, like, I was thinking about doing, right? And then I saw a little reading today from a girl that I'd never seen before, and she was like, "You may be being guided to do a cord cutting. Get your candles out and do the cord cutting." And I'm like, and these are right over there. So I got the candles out. Gonna do the cord cutting live, probably on YouTube, because most of the people on my Instagram are voting for a live on YouTube. So thank you guys. 2525. If you want to do that little quiz again, contact page on my website. Halcyon Light Healing Manual. It's a few pages in. And it's just like a couple of quick questions. But again, just think about how you are in the world. Figure out which one of those things makes the most sense. Like, am I all about food and taste? Am I all about smell and scent? Am I all about listening? Am I all about seeing? Am I all about just, like, my mind and, like, being stimulated up here? Like, think about those things. Reflect on that. That's your homework, to reflect on that. Think about that. Take a little 5-minute meditation time. And again, having a daily thing where it's like, I'm not going to be searching on any of the social medias. I'm not going to be distracted over here or over there. I'm going to take 5 minutes out of my fucking life to sit down and intentionally connect with myself and reflect on these things. Or go outside and do some of the things that we talked about, because that will start you setting up that appointment to be like, okay, Spirit, here I am. I'm ready to connect. And I'm ready to deepen my connection. And again, your spirit is within you. Even our spirit guides and our ancestors and all of that is like, it's just another version of ourselves. Everybody really is another version of ourselves. So, and that's another thing. Like, I'm aware that there's like these people out there who are so weird with their shit. I'm like, what am I not allowing in? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm too much of a pushover. I don't know. It just doesn't seem right. I don't think it's right to do that shit. I'll come back again to be a dark person, but I don't feel like I want to go down that path in this life. Anyways, 2707 in Renee. Namaste.